Jeremy Rosenthal. But let me go ahead and ask you some of these real quick, because there's a list of things that I just want you to be mulling around in your head when I'm about to have a conversation with the de facto lawyer on the James Show, Jeremy Rosenthal. Number one, there's a bill in Austin that would require proof of citizenship to register to vote. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, that wasn't already the law? What are we doing now? You just show them your Blockbuster card from 2002? I don't know. I don't know. What could possibly be the argument against this? Oh, you have to prove you're a citizen before you get to vote? What a monster. So I'll ask about that. I'm also going to ask about, there's this viral video that I saw last night that I'm not even sure if it's real, but it looked like a 7-year-old girl in Texas was getting a tattoo. And I'm like, bro, that's legal? That's news to me. I'll have to ask him about that. But I want to start with another legal question for my buddy Jeremy Rosenthal. Welcome to the James Show. I want to start with calling these recent attacks on Tesla's domestic terrorism. Now, we've bandied about on the James Show. Well, of course, it meets the definition of terrorism, just as according to the dictionary. But according to the law, I guess that would change the nature of these attacks drastically if, legally speaking, it counts as capital D, capital T, domestic terrorism.
I don't know. I mean, think of it like this. I mean, so when you typically would define terrorism, you're talking about attacking a governmental target or an infrastructure target or doing something that incites kind of mass fear.
No. See, so that's the definition there. That wouldn't. It's violence or intimidation for a political cause, usually in a civilian angle here. So, like 9/11 wasn't attacking government infrastructure or...
Exactly.
Right. So,
yeah.
And it can't just be fear. It has to be fear for a political cause.
Yeah, I think that I think you could get there just based on the infrastructure.
Okay.
And so I mean, when you're talking about a specific kind of car, especially something or electric chargers that have the Tesla logo, I think you're attacking infrastructure. I don't think it's really hard to get to the terroristic nature of it. To me, where I think the issue is look, okay, you're throwing a Molotov cocktail. Terrorism. You are vandalizing and hitting with the baseball bat 17 cars, causing $400,000 worth of damage. Terrorism. You spit on a Tesla, not terrorism.
Right, and like the guy that keyed the Cybertruck at DFW, and we all saw it on video about a week ago. That doesn't really feel like we should put him on a military transport and ship him to Gitmo. But the Molotov cocktail guys, I'm a solid maybe on that.
Yeah. Look, I mean, everything is a matter of degree. And one parallel that I've heard is January 6th. There are people who made detailed plans, had walkie-talkies, had all sorts of paraphernalia. And there's other people who just happened to be there who wanted to see the president talk and were in the wrong place at the wrong time. So everything is always going to be a matter of degree. But I think that, I absolutely think that this is domestic terrorism. If you are attacking our infrastructure, if you are trying to, again, incite fear based on some type of political belief or some type of ideology, if that's not domestic terrorism, I don't know what is. I'll give you, James, something that is interesting to chew on. You look at Luigi Mangione in New York State, they're labeling that as domestic terrorism because you're going after the CEO of a healthcare company. That, to me, is a lot thinner of an argument than Tesla.
Agreed. And this is why we have you on. You're supposed to break down that nuance, not make new questions, Jeremy. No,
sorry, man. Sorry.
The next legal question, this one kind of blew my mind. State Senator Brian Hughes from the Mineola area, which is over by Bug Tussle, filed a bill that would require proof of citizenship to register to vote. I thought this was already the law. What's going on there, Jeremy?
Well, proof of citizenship is a tricky thing. Well, you've obviously got, so first off, you got a couple of things. You've got the state enforcing something that the federal government sort of has taken the domain of. That's your bigger issue. But even supposing that, what do you have to prove that you're a citizen? A social security card, a driver's license? I mean, what? And so
birth certificate, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you're going to require. I mean, sure, a birth certificate could be difficult. I mean, who carries that around with them? The problem that you have there as well is that, I mean, obviously, the harder you make things, the harder you make it for anybody to vote, the more innocent people are going to get sort of cut out of that. I don't know if you've ever. I was born in Los Angeles County, which is so very easy to deal with when you're trying to get vital records. Let me tell you.
I can't hear you. Everyone's upset.
Yeah.
About the California thing. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, look, that would be really, really hard. And a driver's license is easy to fake. A Social Security card, easy to fake. So a proof or verification of citizenship sounds easy. It sounds appealing. In practice, it's pretty hard.
Well, I was born and raised in Bucktussle, and it's in Hazard County, and we have our names carved into the back of our leather belt, so I think that was our official ID. Can you stick around for another segment? Because I want to ask you about this 7-year-old getting tattooed and what the laws are around that, because some people are just really worked up, and then some people are like, hey, man, free country, whatever. I'll ask Jeremy Rosenthal from TexasDefenseFirm.com about that, but then I want to ask you as well. Is it legal? Should it be legal? Should you be allowed to have your 7-year-old get a tattoo in Texas? Because a viral video showed that. I don't even know if this video is real, but we've got to have that conversation next. The legal analyst for The James Show, Jeremy Rosenthal from TexasDefenseFirm.com. Jeremy, and you, person listening, you want to get that real quick? I want you to listen to this viral video here. You can't see what I see, but this is a 7-year-old, it looks like, at a tattoo shop getting a big tattoo on her thigh and then down on her knee. Now, I don't know if this is real because she's kind of wincing like it sort of hurts, but I saw some of my buddies get a tattoo and they're like sweating bullets. See, like, did it hurt? Not really. I'm getting a tattoo. And so I don't know where I stand on this one. Jeremy, I don't know if this is a real video or if this is a really good fake just to get a whole bunch of attention. But everyone's pointing out in the comments that, bro, that's not legal in Texas. Do you happen to know the laws around getting tattoos in Texas, Jeremy?
I would hope that that's not real. But if this happened in Texas, this would absolutely be an offense. This would be injury to a child.
Yep.
And anytime you are causing pain to a child, that's what's called bodily injury, which is it's pretty liberally defined. It's any kind of physical pain or illness, impairment of any kind of physical condition. It's basically ouch. And if there's no discipline behind it, or there's no medical justification behind it, then it's going to be illegal. I mean, you might be able to make a religious argument, although it doesn't sound like that's what's happening here.
Yeah, so I went digging, and I remembered reporting on this when it got passed. There is an exception for a minor getting a tattoo in Texas if you have parental consent, if you're covering up an already existing tattoo that has something nasty in it, like a cuss word or obscenities or like a swastika or something.
Good for you, man. Yeah, no, I've not handled a case like this, and I'm not seeing that. And good for you for digging that up. I didn't know that, but yeah.
I don't like digging this stuff up because, Jeremy, when I was reading through that, this also includes you're not allowed to, if you're a minor, even with your parents' permission, to go into one of these tattoo or piercing shops and have tongue splitting. Do you know what tongue splitting is?
Go ahead, ruin my.
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when they cut like a 1-inch incision in the front of your tongue, and then you have a forked tongue like you're some kind of damn lizard. And then some people are just into that. Why would you do that to your own kid? God, I can't believe I had to read that today. Anyway.
Yeah, no, you got to go to the bottom of the internet to find that stuff. I mean, but you know, like I said, I just don't know that there's any justification for it. I would hope that video is, I mean, it's depraved even if it's fake, but I would hope that it's fake. And yeah, you just hate seeing stuff like that or hearing about stuff like that.
Well, when you have situations like this, do the parents even get in trouble, or do the kids get in trouble, or does just the tattoo artist get in trouble?
Well, everybody but the kid. I mean, the kid's a kid, right? If a child's 7, the age. So this is actually, some news everybody uses. The age for criminal responsibility for a juvenile is 10. You cannot be prosecuted unless or until you're 10 years old. And depending on what the kid does, I mean, there's probably exceptions that, you can bump up a certain offense if there's a younger child than that. But 10 is the age that under the family code, which dictates juvenile justice, that's the age where a child can be arrested. But no, a kid's a victim here. The tattoo artist, you would think, is certainly guilty. A parent has a duty to act. A parent can be guilty through act or omission, meaning that they can be guilty by acting in a certain way or by failing to act. If the parent is there, they're certainly guilty. And if the parent's not there, then you're probably still kind of guilty for letting your kid run away and do that. So nothing good.
So I think this is legal in a handful of states where they say if you have consent from your parent or guardian, there's no bottom age to that. And like Nevada has just no regulation whatsoever. I guess you get tattooed on your eyeball when you're an infant or something. Those people are crazy, and I'm not going to mess with that. But look, if you're insisting on getting your kid a tattoo and they're only 16, you can go to Florida. Or if you want to go even younger, from driving distance from here, New Mexico, Missouri, maybe Alabama. They don't have a minimum age specified. So I like seeing how that goes from state to state. One more thing. Since I got 1 minute here, let's make it fast here, Jeremy. The bill that's being bandied about in Austin right now that would ban kids from having cell phones in class. How does that ring through you? Because I'm not sure I know I don't like that bill, but I like the intent of the bill. But is there some sort of legal or rights concerns from a lawyer?
Well, you've got to look at the content, and you've got to look at, is it a neutral bill? In other words, does it apply to everybody, and does it police any type of speech or an expression? And I don't know that it does. If you're just talking about taking phones away from kids and not letting them possess it, I'm struggling to see where you're making a decision.
Yeah. Let me reframe that.
Okay, but that's not. Yeah.
Why does Austin get to decide and not each school district get to make their own? Because I don't think it should even be on a school district level. I think the principal at each campus that oversees that. So maybe even within the same school district, the elementary school takes the cell phones, but the high school doesn't. And I would like to see 1,000 schools do 1,000 different things, so we at least have a body of information to know which one does work better.
Well, I don't know that a school district can't make that decision now, but I know that if Austin does make that decision for them, then that's the decision. And you could also pass a law that says that Austin delegates that to the school districts.
I would love that.
There's a number of ways that you could do that. Back to the tattoo thing, 10 seconds. You could also be guilty of what's called serious mental injury to a child, which is a first-degree felony. If anybody needed any reason not to have their child tattooed, it could even be a first-degree felony, 5 years to 99 or life. So there you go.
Good stuff. All right. Well, don't get your 7-year-olds tattooed, people. Goodness. You coming out to the James Show meetup tomorrow at Plano Sports Tavern?
I'm going to do my best.
All right. Jeremy Rosenthal, TexasDefenseFirm.com. Appreciate it, sir. I bet you there's some Tesla dealers out there who aren't too happy about the results of the election, and not necessarily because they disagree with the guy who won, but because it means their inventory's on fire. Scott Barradell from Idea Grove's coming back on the James Show. Look, you help people manage their brands like that. Is this Tesla thing going to blow over, or is half the country going to hate that brand forever?
It could certainly be the latter. Elon Musk has done something that's you just can't do if you want your brand to be successful in 2025, and that's he's taken a political position that is just not aligned with that of a lot of his customers, and he's so visible about it that it's affecting sales big time. I just saw something that in Europe sales are down 45%. It's not good.
Well, could he maybe no longer be the world's top-selling car manufacturer and just end up being a niche car company? Like Fox News only services half the country, and they're the most successful basic cable network out there.
Yeah, he could. It's just that he started it. Look Look who were the original fans of Tesla. They were people that were on the other side of the political spectrum, people that are very concerned about the environment, sustainability. Well, that's who the core base of Tesla was for a long time. Now it's expanded. I think there was a recent survey that showed that more Republicans have turned to Tesla and fewer Democrats. But it's really kind of doing a complete 180 in terms of who your customers are.
Well, what if they change their name and come up with a different logo, and then they have like a board of directors, so Elon Musk is just one of many? Could that sort of salvage the brand?
I think the only really way to keep Elon Musk's influence from causing the kind of damage it has, and there's no question that it's caused a lot of damage, is for him to just be out of the picture altogether, to be an investor, but he can't be the face of the brand. He can't be, I don't think he could be on the board. I think he would just have to step down. I don't think that's going to happen, but I really think things like changing the name of the brand or things like that would just be cosmetic. People know at this point he's deeply associated with this brand, and his name recognition is crazy high in the U.S. now, far more than it used to be.
Well, I try to think of other companies who've taken an extreme position in politics. Now, almost all of them have gone left of center. So I really just want to focus on the ones that are right of center because there's fewer of those. But the examples don't look too bad. Like Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby seem to have weathered their support of Team Red better than I thought they would 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they've been always pretty consistent. They've gotten more publicity along the way, but Chick-fil-A has always been closed on Sundays and always had the point of view that it has on things. And yeah, sometimes activists on the other side have tried to use it to start boycotts and things like that. But the bottom line is they sell chicken sandwiches, and it's like Mayor Pete. He was asked one time what he thought about their, policy, their viewpoints on, LGBTQ and so forth. And he said, I might not agree with their views, but I like their chicken. And so, maybe it would be nice if people could do that with Teslas too. But I just think Elon Musk has come down so hard on opponents here. Chick-fil-A was kind of in the background. They didn't have like their CEO running around going to the White House, making pronouncements that would, alienate people so intensely, which is what Elon Musk has been able to do.
All right, so let me ask you this, Scott Bairdell. I come to you and I say, Scott, I have a bar. I want to make it a MAGA-themed bar. Would you recommend for that or against that? Or here's what I suspect. I think location would matter, because if you're out where I'm from in Bug Tussle, or maybe you're out in like far north Dallas and someplace that is kind of deeply red, I think that would be a good idea. Or is it ever a good idea? Well,
you can, it's like I always tell people, I tell my clients, and when it comes to issues like, say, climate change, you can be in favor of sustainability, do all the same things, and not step on a minefield like talking about climate change, and alienating people. In the case of MAGA, there's all kinds of things in terms of the values of MAGA, positive values of MAGA, that you can support and that your business can represent without people wearing MAGA hats. There's just no reason to go there. You can create an environment that's built for an audience without finding ways to tick other people off. And in the case of MAGA, that people with MAGA hats and MAGA bumper stickers and MAGA flags, they can be targets, just like these Tesla cars have been targets. So that's another reason to think twice about it.
Well, I try and think maybe there's some like hyper specific industries where you could get completely political. Like on one side of the aisle, if you sell like tofu burgers, you could go full Team Blue or woke. Or if on the other side of the aisle you sell Carhartt or camo or I don't know, archery bows, you could go full mag and probably not sustain too much damage. But it's always fun talking about this stuff with you. Where do we find your work, Scott Bairdell?
Well, my agency is Idea Grove, and you can go to ideagrove.com.
Thank you very much, sir. Scott Bairdell on The James Show. Now, there's a couple of nuances to this. The kids could still take their cell phone to school, but they would either have to put it in an electromagnetic bag that can't be opened. I've seen the videos of the kids at the end of the day. They all have to take their electromagnetic bag up to it's like a shoplifting prevention machine, that unzips it or opens it so you don't shoplift from, I don't know, wherever you do your shoplifting, Gap or Limited or Gadzooks or whatever. Did you just say Gadzooks? Focus, okay? Now, I was listening to Casey Bartholomew, and he's perfect on topics like this. Except I want to add a little bit of nuance. I don't think he's necessarily wrong in the fact that would probably be best for the schools and best for the kids and best for the scores and best for academics overall. But I don't think we would really know if we did a blanket application of that rule across all school districts. Here's what we need to do. What we need to do is have some schools do ban cell phones during class. Either put it in a box when you walk in the door or do the electromagnetic bags that can only be opened after the school day. Well, however you decide to shut off phones during the school day. Let's have some schools do that. Let's have some schools have the cell phone use wide open, and let's have a whole bunch of other schools do everything in the middle. Let's have 1,000 different school districts do 1,000 different things. And I would like to even have it be decided on a more local level than that. I don't even think like one ISD should have a blanket policy for all its campuses. Maybe each campus has a different policy. Maybe the elementary schools do that, but the middle schools and high schools don't. Or maybe some of the high schools do that, but some of them don't. And then we can actually come back and instead of trying to, hammer our preferred cell phone policy on all the schools all the time, we could have a body of information to actually see which one of our theories is correct. Is my theory correct? Is Casey Bartholomew's theory correct? Is your theory correct? We can only find that out if we don't have one of these top-down blanket rulemaking decisions being done in Austin. God forbid it's done at D.C., but Austin's the second worst option. What do you think? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I have 4 kids. They're all in school. I kind of like the older ones having a phone at their disposal. They seem to handle it pretty well because the teachers will take it from them if they pull it out during class. So they sometimes text me when they're between classes or at lunch or at homeroom or at recess. And really, I like to be in touch with my kids that much. I like getting the constant updates. These are my little buddies. I only have a few more years until they stop calling me altogether, and we can all cry about that later. But I'm really not 100% sure where I stand on this, which is why I 100% stand against this law. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want there to be a blanket rules for all of the schools because I'm not sure if I'm right. And this law, even if it's doing the right thing, we won't know it's doing the right thing unless we have a bigger body of information to actually garner that. Does that make sense? 800-288-9227. This is Holly in Dallas. You're on WBAP. What do you think about prohibiting cell phones in schools?
What you just said, my kid goes to a school where they have the magnetized pouch. It's called a Yonder pouch. And so they go in, they have it before school, they lock it up, and then they get it after school. I'm for it. I think these kids are so distracted by these phones. I think they're not learning. I think we need to create a good learning environment and get the distractions out.
It's what's it called? A Yonder bag?
A Yonder pouch.
Where did they get that from? Yonder? It's a goofy name.
Couldn't tell you.
All right. I figured it'd have like a techie sounding name, not like a yokel sounding name.
I think the principal instituted it from what I know, and I'm for it. I think it's good. I think these kids in high school are...
Have your kids been in a different environment, and how did it compare?
They have been in a different environment. They were at a school where they couldn't have their cell phones on at all. Kids do a lot of sneaking around in those environments.
Yeah.
I think that I just would rather them. I like the pouch idea. I know these high school kids are getting on them a lot during school. They're gambling. And I don't know. I wish.
Well, no, that's exactly what I'm looking for, Holly. Someone who's been through that, because I'm a parent who hasn't been through that. At Buck Hustle, we just got cell phones last year. So my kids, they've got Nokia, the little brick. Well, one of my kids has a flip phone. But you can catch WBAP this Thursday. Or I'm sorry, not us, but we have our sister station is going to be at Texas Live for Texas Ranger opening day. It's from 10 to 3, so go out and enjoy some of my friends from the ticket out there. Go Rangers, by the way. I see some messages floating across my screen for that. But what do you think about the prohibition, this law that would outlaw cell phones in schools? 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.